Thank you, Miss Dairo. In our general environment, it helps shape the tasks and determining opportunities and threats confronting the organization. General environment can shape how a company brands itself, and companies itself also examine the general environment when conducting a research and strategic analysis. This is Jovan May Hardin. Today I am interviewing one of the successful businessmen in the Philippines. Let's welcome Mr. Bitonio and Mr. Singh. So Mr. Bitonio, you mentioned on the website that organization environment includes factors that can readily affect as well as factors that largely lay beyond its influence. How important is general environment to organizations, and how can we rely on to organize factors within the general environment that could influence industries and the firms?
Organizational environment is really important. It's because without these environments, we won't have any organizations at all. This greatly affects the industries and the firms that we do. It might help us or it might not help us if our environment isn't included in our organization. So before that, we need to really understand how can we involve the environment within our organization. The organization itself is an environment which we need to protect so that it can prosper, it can grow, and all of us within that environment will become successful and carve our own path. Thank you.
Wow, I'm so impressed on how you put it into simple words, yet it enlightens me. That's very well spoken. Thank you, Mr. Bitonio. Ding, I heard that your company is one of the biggest influence in the industry, and it says that you have a huge impact in the organization. Are there any ecological or environmental issues relevant to your industry that are pending?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Hardin. Yes, you are right. My company is one of the biggest influences in the industry, and I take pride and humility in saying so. However, I shall be transparent and mention that there are various issues that come unannounced. Such issues are inevitable, especially when one is part of such an industrialized society. I find it very difficult to allow myself to process that our company, as great as it's doing, is a cause itself of pollution. Due to this, we keep our number of factories very limited and away from residential areas. We also have officially stopped cutting trees and purchasing forest land in order to operate certain areas for personal use. We stick to other means of land resources instead that they are away from both the rural and urban areas. I want to be able to preserve the environment, and that has always been my intention. Thank you.
That sounds great. Seems like you have come a long way since you have started, and it became huge and successful. So that's it. Thank you so much, Mr. Bitonio and Mr. Singh. It became so knowledgeable and interesting interview with you both. So they reflect the kind of impact those firms are making and how they can adjust accordingly to implement beneficial changes. It creates a competitive advantage that makes the company more profitable than a competitor, and it gives us broader external information. That's the end of my interviews. Once again, I am Jovan May Hardin, and this is Business Talk. Back to you, Ms. Patriana.